I'm Matt Sims, and this is My Bracket.
This episode of My Bracket is presented by Ram Trucks.
All right, so let's go down to this first matchup here with 5 versus 12. Oregon, James Madison. I think it's just too much, right? The level is going to be ramped up to another for this matchup here for James Madison. Oregon's defense, the offensive line play, their quarterback Kenyon Sadiq, too tough of a matchup for James Madison. Going to the 9-8 matchup. I know everyone is excited about this rematch. It was really thrilling the first time these two teams played. Still have huge question marks about just John Mateer, their offense, Satania and Burks. Can they create big-time plays? I'm still going to lean towards Brent Venables and that defense to get it done at home against a struggling Alabama offense. Alabama played great defense, but I think overall, Oklahoma ability to just play great defense, create turnovers, and capitalize off those turnovers is what's going to help them win this football game at home. Now we go to the rematch between Tulane and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, just too much firepower on the offensive side. Trinidad Chambliss, Kawan Lacey, one of the best running backs in the country. You got Deuce Alexander, Caden Lee, Trey Harris at receiver positions. I think overall it's just too much for Tulane to slow down that Ole Miss offense, especially with Charlie Weiss coming back and calling plays for them offensively. Miami, Texas A&M. These are two teams that I think can win the national championship. I think they both can win within the trenches, right? That's really where they make their hay. But no doubt the Texas A&M matchup against Texas concerns me. I think Miami can replicate exactly what Texas did to Texas A&M, beating them up in the trenches. Ruben Bain, Akeem Mesidor, Poser in the secondary as well with Jacoby Thomas. I think the speed of Miami is evident. I think Carson Beck makes the big plays, and one of the biggest upsets in this first round, Miami defeating Texas A&M. Quarterfinal matchup now, right? 5 versus 4, Oregon versus Texas Tech. And this is really just going to be a heavyweight matchup that I can't wait for. Texas Tech, in my eyes, is one of the best defenses in college football right now with that front seven. Of course, you got David Bailey, you got Romello Height, Anthony Holmes is playing phenomenal as well, and Lee Hunter with Jacob Rodriguez, Ben Roberts. I say that defense and the wisdom and experience of Texas Tech ultimately takes down the younger Oregon football team for this matchup. Now we go to Oklahoma, Indiana. Oklahoma, this is where I think just unfortunately their lack of consistency on the offensive side pops up and is an issue. Indiana, to me, is the most balanced team across the board from offense, defense, and special teams. Fernando Mendoza, the receiving group, I think have enough to win in one-on-one situations against Brent Venables' defense. I say Indiana advances in a low-scoring football game because of their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, and that offensive line. Now for the Ole Miss-Georgia matchup. This is where I think Ole Miss, the story, it comes to an end. Georgia, to me, is one of the hottest teams in the country at the moment, with their secondary improving tremendously. Ellis Robinson, Dalen Everett, KJ Bolden playing phenomenal. Of course, with CJ Allen as the leadership there on the defensive side, I say that they slow down that Ole Miss offense. Georgia advances with Kirby Smart and that defense. Now for a great matchup here. Probably one of the better matchups as far as offense and defensive line on both sides of the football here in this one. I'm going to go with a shocker. I'm going to say that Miami upsets Ohio State in this matchup because I think Mesidor, Bain can get after it, disrupt the pocket, and really make it a difficult matchup for Ohio State to run the football effectively and for Julian Sayin to have time to throw the football effectively to Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith on the back end. I think the offense for Miami, CJ Daniels, Fletcher, Carson Beck, and of course Malachi Tony, the star freshman receiver, can win in some one-on-one matchups against this Ohio State secondary, and they can protect against that Ohio State defensive line. I say Miami with a huge win, 10-2 in the quarterfinals. Now we're going to the semifinals with Texas Tech versus Indiana. Again, this is about just can Indiana protect against Texas Tech consistently? Can they run the football against that front four? Texas Tech runs a very vanilla-like offense, 4-man rushes, a lot of zone. This is an NFL quarterback. I say the NFL quarterback dissects that zone coverage consistently, gets the football out of the hands in rhythm and in time. They advance to the national championship with just the fact that they have that experience, the quarterback play, and of course the skilled guys in the back end to overcome that great Texas Tech defense. One of the most fun matchups I think that we can have here, Georgia-Miami. Just two total ends of the spectrum. A team that really has had all the talent from start to finish, and a team that really has grown into just being a dominant group, both on offense and defense. This is where Miami, though, shows a little bit of the things that we saw in midseason, right? With just the inconsistency to be able to play week in and week out, right? So I think Georgia, right, with their leadership, Gunnar Stockton, Mike Bobo, their style of play, the physicality, the multiple ways they've shown they can win, special teams also playing a huge factor in this game. I say Georgia advances to the championship over Miami. And then my national champion, Google it, all right? It's Curt Cignetti, the Indiana Hoosiers, back-to-back 10-win seasons. They are the new face of college football. Ohio State, the Big Ten, everyone in the rest of the country, hey, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. The Hoosiers are at the top of the college football mountain. Don't forget to make your bracket picks at ESPN.com/CFP challenge.
Thank you for watching My Bracket presented by Ram Trucks.